Let's explore one of Sunderland's most iconic landmarks, Roker Pier and Lighthouse. I've always loved this pier and lighthouse here at Roker and have been waiting for the chance to attend a guided tour for months and was finally snappy enough to book on one of their tours. The tour started at the entrance to the tunnel before being armed with a hard hat to head down to the depths below. Original water and gas pipes run the full length of the tunnel under the pier. They're not in bad condition considering they're over 100 years old. The pier tunnel was designed to provide access for the lighthouse keeper during bad weather, as well as to fuel the crane during the construction of the pier. As you can see, it didn't have electric lighting, but it did have a few gas lights that we'll see later on.
And there's one at the top end. We believe there were skylights all the way along, but we can't definitively say that is the case.
I was absolutely in my element in the tunnel, which is about half a mile long, walking on either side of 15 feet thick walls made from granite face blocks.
Stop here. A little bit. So this is the original skylight number 2. You see the kink in there? Yeah? Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because water runs back on itself, so that'll put a bend in, yeah? So that's how we know this is the water and this is the gas. And there would be outlets every so many feet for these to go straight up and into the crane, yeah? To get it casting water. Just watch it, it's a little bit wet here, but not too bad. You just watch it a bit. See the top there? Yeah. Yeah. I'm just pointing out this top here. Yeah. That's what I was talking about. You see, it's running off the gas pipe, so that would have gone up onto the pier deck. Yeah. And that would supply gas to the gas lamps up on the top there. Now the taps themselves have inscribed on them, if you can see through all the muck and that, but I don't think you can see on this one. We've got a better example further up. They will have inscribed on them RWC. Now, if anybody was listening to my initial speech, Battle of Adventure Summit, Riverway Commission. Yes. Why not advertise yourself? You've put the money up for this. Why not advertise yourself?
Pictures within the tunnel show the Goliath crane, which when first built was the largest in the world, lifting the blocks into place along the pier.
Is it damp with your corridor condensation or is it waterproofing?
Water coming through the room. You've got to remember 120 years old, you know.
Yeah, I know.
It's coming together, it's cool.
It's amazing because when you think about it, how well it's built, isn't it?
Yeah. Isn't it? Sure then. Very tight and light. Yeah.
At this point of the tour along the tunnel, we glimpsed the sight of one of the rare gas lights that would have helped the lighthouse keeper see where they were going. The overhead skylights would have also helped, although not on stormy nights.
Even through the skylight, because it was dark as well.
Yeah, oh yeah. Yeah, when they did before the second day, we don't know, Right, quite a bit of water here, so just watch yourself here and watch your head as well. I know I've got to stand it in the water, but I just want to point out the pipes, yeah. This is some of the original pipe work, as you can see. It's obviously.
I think we're about halfway through the tunnel now. It was amazing just walking under where I've walked so many times. Sorry that the video is so dark here. It made me realise how primitive life was working at the lighthouse.
That's the work of the water. Well, So this is the first of 4 plaques that's in the tunnel that Henry had put in. He had 8 children. There's 4 plaques in the tunnel. There's 3 on the outside and 1 that we can't find. So we've had something put up in the portal for that child. But this is Dora Reithwake, his daughter.
A little further down are the other 3 plaques dedicated to Henry Haywake's youngest children and commemorating their visits to the pier during the construction. Such a touching tribute by a man who clearly had a passion for what he was achieving. There's a myth that there's a gold sovereign hidden behind Enid's plaque, perhaps symbolising that she was Henry's favourite child. We then start to see the light at the end of the tunnel, quite literally, as we get to the base of the lighthouse. The basement would have contained an air compressor and storage chamber used to power the foghorn, warning of the dangers of surrounding rocks. I absolutely love that this is the original toilet for the lighthouse keepers, looking quite Edwardian in style. Although I don't think Mr. Skeleton looks too healthy. We then headed up to the ground floor, which was the engine room. This room was my favourite to look at, with original blue-green tiles that were commissioned by Minton Hollins in Stoke-on-Trent. The worn Edwardian splendour has been restored over the years, with replacement tiles added sympathetically as well as a fresh coat of paint. Two 16-horsepower Stockport engines would have sat here, powering the foghorn that was below. The only surviving evidence of the engines are the machine fittings that are visible on the ornate terrazzo floor. It was then time to head upstairs, which was a storage and living area for the crew that weren't on lantern duty when on shift.
Would have been a bed of mercury. The weights would have come down, and then an hour later they had to be wound up again to go right to the top and went on all over again. This lighthouse was never lived in. You can see that the stairs are getting narrower, so just be a bit aware of that. And if you come right round, because it's very cosy in here.
It was fascinating to learn about the different roles the crew did whilst in this compact lighthouse. Such a lot can be packed into such a small space. Once in the lantern chamber, we were treated to amazing views of the North Sea, being able to see all the way to Staithes in North Yorkshire. Originally a gas-powered 350 candle power light would have illuminated from the top of the lighthouse. Today it is powered by LED lights. Did you know that each lighthouse has a unique flashing pattern to allow sailors to determine their sea position? After some historic storytelling, we made the journey to the bottom of the lighthouse, enjoying the period features of this iconic landmark. It's amazing how beautiful the restoration of this space is, completely in keeping with the original functions of the lighthouse. We then exited the lighthouse through the front door, which was so cool. Maureen, one of our guides, pointed out the etchings of the John Fife Aberdeen stone, which I had never noticed before. Upon walking on top of the pier, the tracks from the Goliath crane and the skylights became more noticeable pieces of history from underneath our feet. The guided tour lasts around 2 hours, which I thought was amazing considering the price and the fact that the tour is run by volunteers who are utterly passionate about the pier and lighthouse. To support funds, I purchased a guidebook packed of history of the pier and lighthouse, as well as an original piece of the parquet floor from 1903 with a certificate. The flooring was too rotten to be saved upon restoration, so a genius idea was formed to sell pieces of it to aid with the restoration and upkeep of these incredible tours and the landmarks themselves. I'd really recommend attending a tour of Roker Pier and Lighthouse, and we'll link all information in the description box below if you fancy going. And please like and subscribe if you like this video.